How's it going, guys? CrackedRack back at it again with another disturbing rant. Today I'm going to be ranting about Onision. So, a few years ago, I made a rant discussing why you should absolutely avoid discussing Onision at all costs, but I've honestly changed my perspective on that quite a lot. Because frankly, I've matured to a point where I just don't care. I don't care about people's opinions, I don't care about internet drama, or people not wanting to give people a platform, which is just such a useless waste of energy. Like, so many people are online are like, don't give this person a platform, they harm people. And it's just so petty and pathetic. Like, just let people be who they want to be and stop trying to prevent things from existing. What are you, a book burner? Anyway, today we're going to be discussing my thoughts on Onision. Onision is easily the most pathetic person probably in the world, in my opinion. I don't really like calling well-known lolcows pathetic unironically because it's just such a cheap shot, and it really just makes it seem like I'm trying to feel better about myself, but Onision seriously deserves everything that has come his way, and I've been obsessed with his case for like a decade. I have no sympathy at all. Now, in this video, I'm not going to be discussing his allegations because I don't care, first off, and second off, that's been done to death. I'm just going to be discussing my thoughts on his brand, his channel, my experiences with him, etc. Now, a little backstory. Onision is the reason I even create content now. Yup. See, back in 2010, I was an avid YouTube fanboy. I loved all the 2010 channels, Smosh, Ray William Johnson, PewDiePie, and most importantly, Onision. Onision was a cool creator because, unlike 99% of people on the platform, he was extremely edgy, and he had a full-on career from what he did. And I think he had like the most subs on the platform, which was really cool. He wasn't afraid to put himself out there as this controversial figure who had his face shown, and it just didn't bother him. It was really awesome at the time. Looking back, though, he was a horrible influence on children. I mean, good God, I somehow had the immaturity at age 12 to watch Onision from morning to night every single day, him and McJuggernuggets. Just the prospect of sitting around my computer and waiting for an uh-oh bro upload is an absurd thought that I don't relate to at all. But yes, he was a bad influence. Because of him, I knew what extremely adult topics were, like self-cutting, abuse, and mental disorders. He had this facade of being the super put-together egotistical celebrity, and that was also a bad influence. He made being an emo little crybaby bitch seem really cool back then, so of course I wanted to emulate that as well. He also had this really unhealthy narcissistic image that being a social media influencer was like an amazing life. It was all sunshine and rainbows, and he lives in this fantastical life you should be obsessed with. It was really, really unhealthy, and even more so considering his content was aimed at like actual 12-year-old girls. I will give Onision one thing though. When he was making skits back in 2010, this is an unpopular opinion, I think they were funny. They were really self-deprecating and vulgar and edgy and absurd, and it was just a really good time. You don't see this kind of content anymore. His content was similar to like Freddy Got Fingered, the movie. It was just super silly, good fun. He even did a collab with Weezer, which I still find really funny to this day, even more so considering what he's done. However, I do remember when I stopped watching him as much and when his downfall took place. He started going from really edgy, funny, self-deprecating skits that weren't serious at all, to these really complicated, annoying, preachy rants about mental health and serious topics and that you can rely on him. I found it really annoying even as a child, and when I did, it taught 12-year-old me some really bad shit. Some of it I'm still unlearning to this day. Like, for example, I remember when I was 12 being like, oh, okay, the only people that matter are people with the bone structure of the Black Veil Bride singer Andy Biersack, okay. Oh, fat people? Yeah, those don't matter. Let's just say I did not have many friends in school because of this, because my attitude sucked. Like, other kids were talking about how much they loved Wii games, and SpongeBob, and how they wanted to be like a lawyer or something when they were older. And I would discuss how much I wanted to have 1 million followers, and how I wanted to have sex with a harem of emo girls, because that's what I had been taught for the most part. And yeah, I really started to just not like him. Then around 2016, when I was in mid-high school, I decided to start supporting him again. I found his skits somewhat funny at that point, so yeah, I gave him like 20 bucks. And because I was a Patreon to him, I got access to his Discord, which meant I could talk to him every day. And oh my god, he was such a douchebag. I would discuss things with him, like his channels and his lore, because I was really interested. I was a huge fan. And he would just blow me off and be like, whatever. Or he would just make fun of me for liking his channel, which is really weird. Like, why would you do that to the last few people who still like you? And I was like the only male in that Discord server. There were like 9 other voice chat regulars there, and they were all like 35-year-old women with like piercings all over their face and blue hair. And they weren't even there to support Onision. They were just there to bitch about their husbands, and Onision would give them like validation. So me at the time being a 16-year-old boy, which, wow, was like so long ago at this point, it's so nuts. He just ignored me. He acted like I wasn't shit, like maybe I was just too old for him. He would give a ton of attention to the other people there, but he would just ignore me as if I didn't belong there. He saw my videos and said they were shitty, and it's just like, come on, Onision, really? You're gonna say that to me? My videos when I was 13 are funnier, in my opinion, than your videos at 38. I also entertained the chat a lot. They were really laughing at my jokes, but Onision got like jealous of me making them laugh, which was weird, and he kept protesting the idea of banning me. I remember at one point I suggested he come on the voice chat more because I was giving him like $80 every few months just to talk to this fucking bum, and he was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna sit around and talk to these retards all day on Discord. Durr. And I was like, okay, I'm done. So I started trolling him, and I started talking about kiwi farms, and he was like, we don't talk about hateful websites here. Do not do that again. So I did it again, and he instantly banned me. So I retracted my pledge from him, and what followed was he sent me like 20 messages, like guilt-tripping me, asking if I did something wrong or if he was a bad person. Homeless people on the street don't even do that. If I like took back $20 from a homeless person, which I would never do that, but if I did, I don't even think they would do that. And I was just like, okay, you're stupid. I gave him some advice on how he could not lose Patreons, which I think was very solid, and he was like, I don't need advice on anything. So I was like, okay, bye, loser. And since that point, I have never supported Onision ever, and I never will ever again. He is the worst YouTuber of all time. And looking at his skits now, he's so untalented. Like, all of his skits have awful lighting. They take place in his fucking house, which is just so ugly. I mean, like, I've done that before, but, like, it wasn't to be, like, deep and make a good skit. I was just screwing around. He tries to be really serious, but he has nothing to back it up at all. It's all substanceless garbage that you'd find in a 14-year-old boy's diary. And, like, oh, his Death Note skits where he's trying to be anime. That is hideous. He tries to be sexy and emo, but he just looks like a creepy old douchebag, which he is. He can't take criticism at all. He abuses legal resources for criticism. He's the worst. Now, I can give him a few props, because I know nobody else ever will ever again, and I don't like that negativity. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, even the worst people, okay? Here's my props for Onision. For one, he did get me and a host of others extremely interested in content creation. Without him, I would have never pirated Sony Vegas as a 12-year-old and learned how to use it. I would have never been introduced to these extremely adult topics, which I do feel has improved my life nowadays because I get like a lot of great benefits out of just understanding these concepts. I would have never been sexually active as a kid, which it sounds horrible, but I mean, it made me experienced, I guess. So good job, Onision, you took my virginity. He introduced me to YouTube criticism, and he's done some good, I guess, for my life anyways, but he does things like kidnap 12-year-old girls from their home, and he needs to be punished for it. That's so creepy. Imagine you're a parent, and you don't know what your kid's doing online, you think they're just playing Club Penguin, and you don't know much about the internet, and they start communicating with Onision, and hanging out with him, and he gets custody of them. That's chilling. But yeah, Onision is a hack. I have tried to give him the benefit of the doubt my entire life, and he just fails every time. There is no chances for someone like this. He actually could get his career back as an obscure creator. I mean, he still gets like 100k views a video. That's better than 99% of other YouTubers, so if he just stopped this emo sad boy bullshit and started making funny skits and tried to better himself and stopped calling himself a witch hunt survivor, he could probably get his old glory back. But he just keeps doing weird shit, like doing porn, which, good God, I've seen some of it and it makes me nauseous. He calls himself a porn star, too. Why? He does awful music, like the worst music of all time. Music that has no rhythm, no melody, no chord progression, just a fucking lunatic bashing a keyboard while saying fuck, shit, piss, and ass. Actually impressive that he has not improved anything he's done musically in the last 15 years. The songs he made in 2007 are better than the ones he does now. Listen to Black Ink, and good God, it is the worst singing I've ever heard of in my life. I have FL Studio projects from when I was 12 that sound better than anything Onision makes at 38. And yes, he's a loser and deserves some bullying, I guess, but the people who want him to die and are trying to intimidate him to death are just fucking awful. Like, you suck balls. You are so much worse than him. I hate those kinds of people who just bully and intimidate people just because they disagree with them or just because they had a mild altercation. Like, you are fucking scum. You are nothing. He doesn't deserve to die. He should be punished the right way. Anyway, before I end this video, here's some AI-generated images of Onision I made. Here's Onision eating some beans. I don't like this at all. Then we have Onision committing a attack on a school, which is, not too unlikely, probably. Then we have Onision defending himself in court, looking like Lord Voldemort. I didn't even type in anything to make him this creepy, I just typed in Onision. And then lastly, we have Austin Jones enjoying some beans. This will probably be how he looks when he gets out.